Uh, this is, funnily enough, this is the very last video that I'm recording out of the talking about the narc. Funny that it ends on this one because it really highlights that there's not much to talk about in a very sad way. Let's get into it. So, second Halloween, I was very close to my due date with Levi, and was absolutely ready for him to just be out of me. Like, so done. Right? Like, I feel like everybody can relate to that when you're expecting your baby, right? Like, that last month just drags on and takes forever. Um, so, I was very impatient and I was hoping. Okay.
But we're going inside for a sec.
Okay. Anyway, I was hoping that pregnancy would come to an end. I was hoping that Halloween might kickstart labor, all the walking around and stuff. I was like, ooh, is it going to be go time? I was really hopeful. It was not go time. Now, in preparation of Halloween, I was honestly a little bummed out, and I thought that it wasn't going to be good, that everything was going to just be terrible because I didn't have a costume for Elias at all. We had no money. He had no job. All the money that he was making by selling car parts and stuff, because that's what he kept choosing to do for money, he was using to buy alcohol and weed and, his necessities and essentials. Nothing else. So I thought last minute maybe my mom would take me to buy a costume for him or something, because there was no alternative at that point. And originally, because it was 2020, I wanted to dress Elias up as Bubble Boy, the Jake Gyllenhaal character, because I thought that would have been hilarious. And I wanted to do my makeup like the mom and make him like a cardboard version of the soy free, fat free, sugar free fiber cookie thing.
Jimmy, Munchie.
Supper time was the best. Nothing could beat Mom's homemade, vitamin-rich, soy-based, germ-free, fat-free fiber cookies.
I wanted to so bad. I was so desperate for that to be the costume, and I knew exactly how I could have accomplished it and stuff, and I thought it would have been hilarious for trick-or-treating, especially because, like, he was at an age where he still wasn't really picking costumes. It was only his second Halloween. He didn't really care what he was at all. I'm so sad I never got to do it, because that would have been just, like, 2020. It was the perfect year for that kind of costume. I was just so upset. I was so upset that we couldn't do it. And we couldn't do it because, again, DAD not working or providing anything, which was what he wanted to do. So I don't know why he struggled with it so much. And then randomly, extremely last minute, the narc showed up with a dinosaur costume that he bought at Walmart. And his logic and reasoning was that he knew I was bummed out that we still didn't have a costume for him, and he saw that one and was like, oh, it's his size. And what I think honestly, truthfully happened was that he realized, because he literally bought it like the day before Halloween, but I think he realized that if our kid didn't have a costume, that it was going to make him look like he was failing. Like, you're you know? Like, it's one of those little things that doesn't seem like a big deal, you know? Because, I mean, not everybody celebrates Halloween. Not everybody dresses up or does things for Halloween. But knowing how big of a holiday it was to me, like, all of my family would have been questioning why Elias didn't get to do it that year. It would have been a thing. It would have been noticed because I love Halloween as much as I do. And you would assume that he loves Halloween to the same extent. But truthfully, I don't think that he really loves anything other than himself, weed, beer, and his car. I'm pretty sure that's it. But he had to, you know, create the facade of, like, Halloween is still celebrated and we can still do it, and he's providing. So I'm pretty sure that's the only reason that Elias ended up with a costume that year. He was a blue he was adorable. He was a blue T-Rex. So, you know, there wasn't much complaint and stuff. And then that year, Elias and I were trick-or-treating with my mom and her boyfriend and, like, my mom's boyfriend's family. Narcissus couldn't even be bothered to go trick-or-treating with us. Because that's the thing too, right? Like, you can buy a costume last minute so that way you still look good, but, like, you weren't even there for the holiday. You didn't even want to be there for the holiday. You didn't want to go trick-or-treating with your kid. You went his first year. And that was it. And it's like, to him it's whatever. He doesn't really care. But I'm like, I can't see it the way that he does because we're not programmed the same way. I'm like, there's limited Halloweens that your kids want to trick-or-treat with you, that they want to go out with you. I mean, shoot, they're 5 and 3. They're turning 6 and 4 this year. Like, I don't have many Halloweens left with both of them. And this year they want to do a family costume. And, like, I'm way too excited for it. I can't wait to do Halloween this year. But I'm like, how sad. Like, one Halloween trick-or-treating with your kid. Like, it bums me out. But, again, different parents, right? Like, I'm watching them run around the yard right now, and I'm like, this is the best life ever. This is my happiest place. This is exactly where I want to be all the time. Like, I'm enrolled in a certification course right now and completing that to have this job and career path that'll leave it more open so I can spend as much time with them as possible, because I genuinely, my happiest place is with them, hanging out with them, watching them run around. Like, right now, they don't want me to play the game. To be fair, I've been very sick and, like, fainting everywhere. And they're like, Mom, please don't run around with us. Like, it scares us when you fall over and then we have to take you to the emergency room. Like, let's not do that anymore. Oh my goodness. For real? And I mean, ultimately, you know, Halloween was a good day, right? Like, we had a great Halloween. We got to hang out with his grandma. We went trick-or-treating. He was really excited about his costume. Like, he loved it. To be fair, I honestly think he would have been happy with whatever we handed him that year. Like, he still had no concept of what Halloween was. Like, he still didn't understand why we were knocking on people's doors and stuff. And, like, you know, it was only his second Halloween. And his first Halloween, he wasn't even a year old yet, right? So, like, he did not, he wasn't 2 yet. He was a couple months away from being 2. So he still had just no idea of, like, what Halloween is. Like, now it's a bigger deal to him. Now he understands. Like, we go out, we get candy, we dress up in costumes, and I get to pick my costume. And it's very important to him now to pick who he is. So I'm amazed that they wanted a family costume, and, like, they've stuck to it for months now. Like, they're not changing their minds, which is nice. It makes it easier for me. Of course it was a good Halloween. The narcissist wasn't around for it. The narcissist was doing his own thing and ignoring his family and having no desire to hang out with his family. And it's constantly a thing of, oh, well, that's, you know, better. Like, I get told all the time when I recount these things, like, in therapy and stuff, like, do you perceive it as better or worse? And it's something that I have to constantly think about. And I'm like, I know that ultimately it was better because less involvement meant less opportunity to traumatize our child. But I'll never be able to understand how anybody can have kids and not want to spend holidays with them, not want to go trick-or-treating with them, not want to just interact with them. I don't know. It's crazy to me. I'll never understand it. I mean, these boys truly are just such an incredible gift from God. And I am truly just so blessed that I get to be their mom and that I get to know them and raise them. Like, they're amazing, amazing little boys. And they're truly going to be wonderful men when they grow up. A little weird. I will admit, they will be weird. Because, like, they're being raised by a weirdo. Like, they're gonna have some weird interests. But, like, they are so empathetic and caring and smart and just, like, they get passionate about their interests and they have this incredible desire to just learn constantly. And and, like, now that we're also religious and stuff, because obviously when I was with the narcissist, I didn't have God. I didn't know God. But now that we're religious and stuff, the way that they are in that sense too, like, it's almost like Elias is built more like a warrior and Levi is geared more towards living like Jesus. Just, like, forgiving and empathetic and meeting people where they're at. Goodness gracious, I love these little guys. Oh, they're so amazing. I'm so glad this is the last video that I have to film for this, because this has been such a hard series to, like, just film so far in advance and get as much done as possible and talk as much as possible, just so that way I can, you know, move on with the channel and re-upload my old content and stuff with missing chunks. I'm so excited for this year to just be done and for everything to be up again and to just start fresh but still have all the memories from when they were littler available for family and friends and stuff that are subscribed and stuff to the channel, because they want all the updates and stuff, and to be able to look back at these memories without the, like, in-your-face trauma every time that I watch it now, that would also be great, right? Like, because there are things that, like, I should have cut out of videos that I definitely did not, and that's wild. I don't know what I was thinking with those, but it is what it is. Like, there were things that were definitely abuse caught on camera that, like, I didn't notice, that, like, I don't want that to be public. Like, there are certain things that I will share for context with, that, like, I've shared within this series, but, like, I don't want to click on a video because I want to watch all these cute clips of my kids when they were littler and then be hit with trauma. Right? Because, like, I watch them all the time. I let the boys watch them, and I don't want them to see that either. Like, Elias talks about it in therapy and stuff, but, like, I don't want that visual reminder. And, like, I don't want it to alter how he feels, you know. I want him to be comfortable being upset over the things that he remembers, but knowing that he can still love his dad and that it's okay to feel love for his dad, because, like, that's his dad, you know. I want him to always have that. And with Levi, I want him to know it's also okay to love your dad, but, like, ultimately he doesn't know him. Like, their dad left when Levi was 5 months old. Hung out with them for like an hour and a half since then, and spent most of the time with Elias. And it's like, ultimately, I hate to say it, but ultimately, I mean, they have a narcissistic father. Their narcissistic father has a favorite, and the favorite is Elias. Elias experienced more abuse and stuff too, but, like, that's the firstborn. It's the only kid he tries to have a relationship with whenever he shows up for a very small chunk of time, right? Like, if there's a favorite, it is Elias. And that's ultimately because he doesn't even want to attempt any kind of relationship with Levi. The way they plot with each other, they, like, squat down and they start, like, whispering to each other to figure out how they're gonna move on in their game. It's so cute. Ah, my heart. But yeah, like, I don't want them to ever feel like they can't love their dad or that they shouldn't love their dad, because, I mean, I grew up feeling that way. And, like, it wasn't intentional of my mother to make me feel that way. Like, she definitely wasn't trying to make me feel that way. But my mom struggled a lot more coping with the trauma that she had. And it unfortunately did carry over to me as a child. And again, it wasn't intentional on her part. I don't think she was, like, trying to be that way. I think that she didn't have all the tools that she needed to go about it in the healthiest way. And now that I've repeated the cycle of fatherless children, I at least want them to not grow up feeling that same way. So I try very, very hard to reassure them that it is okay to love him. It is okay to care about him. It's okay to pray for him and pray over him, because that's how you show love, is praying for people. And it's important to love. Love is the greatest emotion and tool that we have in our lives, right? Like, loving people is a superpower. So I never want them to shy away from it. Anyway, that's the video. That's where I'm going to end it, especially because I went on a very random rant. To be fair, like I said, this is literally the last video that I'm filming for the series of discussing. So that way I can just put my content out there again. So I was feeling a lot more reflective than other videos. Obviously, it's not the last one for you guys because November and December still have to happen after this. But it's the last one in my order of filming randomly based off of what I felt like talking about the day I was filming. So thank you so much for watching. Next week, you guys get a break. You guys get to enjoy some Halloween content from this year. I mean, obviously, it's a while away still for us, but yeah. I don't know what all we're going to do. I'm sure it'll be fun stuff, though. So, thank you so much for watching. See y'all next week with Halloween content. Thank you for bearing with me this year. I can't wait to be done. I can't wait to see the reaction to the direction that this channel will be taking and the videos that I have coming out after this year. Like, I'm very excited for the direction that the channel is going and the things that I have coming out here soon next year. So, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm excited to share the more exciting things. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.